Okay, let's be real. If you're trying to build a community today, you are facing a completely new reality. The old rules, the ones about getting everyone in the same room, they just don't apply anymore. So the big question is, how do you create a real connection when your members could be, well, anywhere in the world? In this explainer, we're going to break down the playbook for the modern distributed club.
Let's just start with this foundational shift in thinking, because it's a big one. The idea that a strong community needs a physical room is quickly becoming a thing of the past. Honestly, today, being able to build and manage a group that's spread out, that isn't just a nice bonus skill, it's your core strategic advantage.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to really get a handle on this new reality. Then, and this is crucial, we'll help you choose the right model for your group. After that, we'll stock your digital toolkit, and then we'll uncover the secret sauce to keeping members engaged across every single time zone. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with an action plan you can start using like today.
All right, let's dive right in. Why is getting this right no longer just optional? Why is this the skill that's going to define who thrives in the next couple of years?
So let me be crystal clear. This is so much bigger than just, dropping a Zoom link into an invite. This is a fundamental strategic choice. The groups that figure this out are going to unlock global talent, global reach, global engagement. And the ones that don't, they'll be stuck, limited by their own zip code. Plain and simple.
Okay, this brings us to what is probably the single most important decision you're going to make. Seriously, the model you choose is going to dictate your budget, your tech, and your members' entire experience. So let's break down the three main options you've got.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty, just take a second. Think about your own community. What's the end goal here? And who, really, are you trying to serve? Just keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this next part.
Okay, this table really lays out the trade-offs perfectly. At the top, you've got the fully virtual model. It's awesome, right? Super low cost, crazy accessible, global reach from day one. The big catch? It can be way harder to build those deep, genuine connections. Then in the middle, you have hybrid. This is where you try to serve both in-person and remote people at the exact same time. It sounds like the perfect solution, but the reality is, it's really complex, it's expensive, and you almost always end up making the remote members feel like second-class citizens. Which brings us to our third option, the blended model.
And here it is. This is the key takeaway. For most clubs, the blended model is hands down the smartest choice. It really gives you the best of both worlds. You can have dedicated in-person events for your local folks, and then you have separate, high-quality virtual events for your global audience. And it's all connected by a central online hub. It's simpler, it's way cheaper than hybrid, and most importantly, it avoids making your remote members feel like an afterthought.
So now that we've got the strategy down, let's get tactical. Let's talk about day-to-day operations. Once you've picked a model, what tools do you actually need to make this whole thing work?
The best way to think about this is a simple three-layer tech stack. First, you need a video platform for all your live stuff. Zoom is pretty much the king here. Next, in the middle, you need that central community hub for all the conversations happening in between meetings. Think something like Slack or Discord. And finally, you just need a simple management tool. Seriously, this can be as basic as a Google form when you're starting out. The big lesson here? Start simple. Prove the model works before you go investing in a bunch of expensive software.
And please remember, a professional smooth experience really comes down to the little things. A simple checklist like this one can prevent most of the common headaches. Things like testing your audio and video beforehand, having a backup internet connection, or assigning someone just to manage the chat. These aren't just nice-to-haves, they're the absolute bedrock of a great virtual event. And if you need more proof, just look at the money. This chart perfectly shows the economic reality we talked about. A true hybrid model isn't just a little pricier. It can be more than double the cost of a virtual or blended model. And honestly, the returns often aren't worth it. The numbers really don't lie. That complexity has a very steep price tag.
Okay, now for the secret sauce. For real, if you want to go from running a good virtual community to a truly great one, you have to master this next concept. This is what separates the communities that kind of fizzle out from the ones that absolutely thrive on a global scale. So what is it? Asynchronous engagement, let's just call it async, is any interaction that doesn't require people to be in the same place at the same time. We're talking about stuff like discussion threads, weekly Q&As, collaborative documents, you name it. This is the absolute key to making a community feel alive and buzzing 24/7, especially when you've got members all over the world.
This is so important. A great community is not just a calendar of live meetings. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. The live events, those are the peaks, right? They're the big moments.
But that async activity, that's all the connective tissue in between that keeps the community vibrant and connected all day, every day.
And of course, this leads us to the most common challenge for any global group, the time zone problem, right? How do you make someone in Tokyo feel just as included as someone in London? Well, the answer is actually simpler than you might think, and it really comes down to two main strategies.
You've basically got a choice to make. The simple approach is you pick one time for your live events, and you just accept that some people can't make it. But you provide amazing recordings and async follow-ups. That's one way. But the truly scalable approach? You lean hard into async. You make those live meetings less frequent and more special, and you shift the community's entire center of gravity over to your async platform like Slack or Discord. That's how you build a club that is truly, genuinely global.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground, I know, from high-level strategy all the way down to the nitty-gritty of time zones, so let's boil all of this down into your immediate, actionable game plan.
If you only remember one single slide from this entire explainer, please make it this one. Rule 1. The blended model is your safest, most effective bet. Rule 2. Async is where global clubs truly win. Rule 3. Do not overinvest in tech early. Start simple. And Rule 4. You have to be intentional and proactive with your virtual members. These are the core principles for success.
And speaking of being proactive, virtual members can disengage so fast if they feel isolated. You have to combat this head-on. Things like a buddy system, putting people into small groups or cohorts, doing personal outreach from leadership. These aren't just fluffy, nice ideas. They are essential tactics for keeping your members and creating a real sense of belonging.
This right here is such a powerful gut check, especially if you're running a hybrid or blended model. You can say all day long that all your members are equal, but your actions are what people actually see. Who do you call on in meetings? Whose contributions do you highlight? Your behavior has to prove that every single member is valued, no matter where they're logging in from.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. The goal here isn't just to learn some new stuff, it's to actually do something. Don't just absorb this information, apply it. Ask yourself this question. What is the one small, tangible change you can make this month to improve your community for every single member? Find that one thing, talk about it with your team, and then go do it, because that's how real progress actually begins.